In the quiet chambers of the soul, where shadows dance and echoes of forgotten prayers linger, we begin this journey, not toward perfection, but toward wholeness. For the true self is not a polished surface but a tapestry of scars, each one a testament to the battles we've fought and the darkness we've embraced. As the psalmist whispers, "Deep calls to deep in the roar of your waterfalls," so too does the deepest part of us call out for integration, for the stitching together of all that we have been and all that we are becoming. This is not a journey to escape the darkness but to descend into it, to unearth its wisdom, to discover the gold hidden in the heart of the shadow. Imagine the cave within, the ancient refuge where our fears crouch like silent sentinels, guarding the treasures we were too afraid to claim. Jung taught that the shadow is not the enemy, but the doorway. The stone we reject becomes the cornerstone. Every wound you've carried is a map of your descent, every scar a secret sigil marking the places you refuse to abandon yourself. And so we walk, into the unconscious, into the dreams that wake us at midnight, into the faces we have turned away from. There is no other way. Wholeness demands we gather every fragment of ourselves, even those we once cast into the outer darkness. For in the very place you fear to tread, there is a voice calling you home. You have been taught to fear your own depths, to flee from the wilderness within. But the wilderness is where prophets are forged. The Psalms remind us, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." For it is in that valley, beneath the weight of your own shadow, that you learn the secret. The shadow is not the enemy. It is the teacher. It is the crucible of transformation, where the false self is stripped away and the gold of the soul is revealed. You will not find wholeness by chasing the light alone. You must embrace the night too, for the stars are only seen in darkness. Archetypes rise from the deep like ancient titans: warrior, lover, king, magician. They are the language of the soul, the universal stories etched into our bones. Each archetype is a mirror, showing us who we might become and who we have been too afraid to be. The warrior in you has fought for survival, even when you felt powerless. The lover in you has yearned for union, even as you stood alone. The king in you seeks sovereignty over your own life, even when your crown feels heavy with responsibility. And the magician in you knows that transformation begins within, turning lead into gold, wounds into wisdom, pain into purpose. These are not roles to perform, but truths to awaken. The ego trembles before the vastness of the self, like a candle flickering in the wind of eternity. Yet the self is not a tyrant. It is the center of your being, the spark of divinity placed within you. The book of Proverbs declares, "The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts." And so we search, not to conquer ourselves, but to become ourselves. The ego fears annihilation, but the self knows that in dying to the false, we are born to the true. To be truly whole is to hold the tension between what is wounded and what is healed, what is broken and what is beautiful. Transformation is not a single act, but a lifelong dance between the known and the unknown. It is the acceptance that you are both saint and sinner, both light and shadow, both fragile and fierce. You were never meant to choose one over the other. You were meant to hold both, to integrate both, to let them kiss in the center of your soul. For only then can you stand unshaken when the storms come. Only then can you speak with the voice of the soul that has walked through the fire and emerged with eyes that see both heaven and hell, and call them both home. Purpose is not something you find on the horizon. It is something that rises from within when you dare to live your questions, when you refuse to turn away from the mystery of your own life. The Psalms tell us, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me." This knowing is the beginning of purpose, the moment when you stop performing and start living. It is the moment you realize that every tear you've shed has watered the soil of your becoming. Every loss has carved space in you for a greater love to grow. Every defeat has broken the walls that kept the light from entering, and every scar is a doorway to grace. The pain you carry is not a punishment but a passage. It is the refiner's fire that burns away the illusions of the false self. It is the hammer that breaks the hardened heart, making way for the rivers of living water to flow. You are not your pain, but you are the one who has endured it, and in that endurance lies the power to become truly whole. For even the Son of Man bore scars, and in those scars he showed us the path to resurrection. By his wounds we are healed, the prophet declared, and so it is with you. Your wounds are not your shame, they are your offering. The power of being truly whole is not found in denying your scars, but in embracing them. It is in letting them breathe, letting them speak, letting them teach you the songs of survival and the hymns of hope. For every scar is a star in the night sky of your being, a reminder that you have been through the darkness and emerged with a light that no darkness can overcome. The scars do not define you, they refine you. They are the places where grace has entered, where love has found a home, where the soul has learned its strength. This is the paradox of wholeness. To be whole is to be incomplete, to be forever a work in progress, forever unfolding, forever becoming. It is to accept that you will never be without questions, never be without doubts, never be without struggle. But it is also to know that in the midst of the questions, the doubts, and the struggles, there is a deeper truth, a quiet knowing that you are enough, that you are loved, that you are held by something greater than yourself. The self, the divine, spark, the imago Dei, burns within you like an unquenchable flame. The journey does not end with enlightenment. It begins with it. For every time you reach a summit, a new valley awaits. Every time you think you have arrived, a new path opens beneath your feet. This is the mystery of becoming, the endless unfolding of the soul. And so you walk, step by step, breath by breath, carrying your scars like sacred relics, your wounds like holy offerings, your heart like a lantern in the night. For you are not here to be perfect, you are here to be whole, and in your wholeness, you will find the strength to hold the pain of the world without breaking, to love the broken without losing yourself, to walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil. For you know that the darkness is not the end but the beginning, that the night is pregnant with the dawn, that every ending is a seed of a new beginning. And in this knowing, you find the courage to live, not as a fragmented self, but as a soul awakened, alive, and unafraid. So let the scars remain. Let them tell their stories. Let them sing their songs of survival. For in those songs, you will hear the voice of the one who called you from the beginning, the voice that says, "You are mine." And in that voice you will find your true name, not as a victim of your past, but as a victor of your becoming. For the power of being truly whole is not in erasing the pain, but in transforming it, not in hiding the scars, but in wearing them like a crown. For you are more than the sum of your wounds. You are the soul that has learned to dance in the darkness and still rise to meet the dawn.